this, you'd notice he's got a very bad limp. That split foot of his is playing off something terrible. And, you know, I don't know whether you've thought about where he got the split foot from. It's not a natural thing, but I'm going to tell you the story of it. And what's reminded me of this story is the weather over the last few days, all the rain we've been having. Because the time leading up to this story, well, they hadn't just had days of rain, they hadn't even had weeks of rain, it had been months. It was months of rain, nothing but rain. And it was getting very uncomfortable up here. But down below in hell, well, it was getting terrible. And it all came to a point one morning, and the devil just sat down to his breakfast. And there, with his usual plate of porridge, all round the edge, instead of the milk, was a brown, muddy puddle. Well, it proved too much for him. He just wiped it off the table and said, right, that's it. And he called one of his sons. He says, get a ladder and get up there and find out what's wrong with this roof. And pretty soon, the ladder was brought, the lad went up, he come down, he said, Dad, he says, it's terrible. With all the water coming in, it's rotted the thatch and it's got through and rotted the rafters. The complete roof has had it. The devil said, right. He said, we'll get this fixed. First of all, we need new rafters. Round a few carpenters up and get them to stick new rafters up. Because you'll find plenty of them down here. And it's true, you know. There's more carpenters per head than any other trade or profession. And that's including politicians, storytellers, you know, there's loads of them down there in hell. So watch out. Anyway, pretty soon they gathered a gang of carpenters together. Now, what they hadn't realised is that carpenters are very stroppy. And some say it's because they're the elite of the construction industry.
Oh no, I'm not.
See you laughing at over there. I said, I've been into trade. Anyway, others say it's the sawdust that affects the brain. I don't know anyway. But anyway, when it come to it, they refused to do the job. They said, no, we ain't doing the job unless we get better conditions. The devil said, better conditions, you lot? You're getting far better than you deserve, you know. And he looked at the thatchers, and the thatchers shrugged their shoulders. Nothing they could do without the rafters. And the devil said, you know, if I've got the skill, I'll get up there and do it myself. But the devil's got a lot of trades under his belt, but he's never learnt carpentry. So he decided to go out and learn the carpentry. And, well, he put a flat cap over his, you know, to go out his horns. He tucked his tail down inside a pair of corduroy trousers. And he came up in Stourbridge. Now, he's renowned for making theatrical appearances, you know, usually comes with a big flash and, you know, clap of thunder, things like that. No, he did this a bit discreetly. He popped up through a crack in the pavement, down by the Red Cone, right over the road from where we used to have the Crystal Club. Anyway, he set about looking for a job so he could learn the trade. Now, in them days, there was plenty of work to be had. But down there, it was all in the glass trade. Good trade to have, but there's nothing for carpenters. So he moved up to Cradley Heath. And this story was the same there. Plenty of work for chain makers. And he quite fancied that, you know, with all the fires and the red hot steel and stuff like that, but nothing to do with carpentry. Up in Albury, well, he could have learnt the engineering, but nothing with carpenters. Walsall, he could have got into the leather. Willenhall, he could have become a locksmith. He even tried to enrol on a course at Dudley Technical College. That was full up. And he ended up in Tipton. Yeah. Well, I didn't know what to say about Tipton, you know, because the only thing I know about is the canal and Caggy's boatyard. So I googled it, and it said Tipton was once part of the Royal Forest of Mercia. And that's all it said. So, well, I don't know what's happened in between. They've got no history between that and that, so there you go. But that's where he ended up. And he ended up, he's a small jobbing builder by the name of Michael Crumpton. He got a little yard the side of Caggy's boatyard, a little workshop there. Well, the devil went down and knocked on the door, and Michael coming. The pair of them sort of saw something akin to one another, I reckon, because they got on right from the word go. And the devil said, I'm looking for a job so I can learn the carpentry. And Michael said, well, I could do with a bloke, but I couldn't afford to pay very much. The devil says, I'll work for nothing just to learn the trade. Teach them carpenters a lesson. So Michael took him, he says, can you start right away? He said, yeah. He took him right into the workshop. He said, right, he says, what do you like with a saw? Can you saw in a straight line? The devil said, no, never been able to do that. So he said, what about the nailing? Can you knock a nail in without bending it? No, never been good at that. So the only thing I can start it on is splitting the wood for the fire. And the devil said, that's my sort of thing, the fire, yeah, okay. So he gave him the axe. Now, say what you like about Michael, but he always kept his tools nice and sharp. So he left the devil splitting the wood, and he went off to make a cup of tea. The kettle hadn't boiled when there was an almighty scream. Michael ran back into the workshop, and there was the devil, clutching his foot, blood everywhere. And Michael went to the first aid box, and it was the usual story. There was a bottle of aspirins and a couple of band-aids. So Michael rushed him into Dudley Guest Hospital. Now I know what you're thinking, but at that time it was a centre of excellence, you know, they could do something. They got surgeons and all sorts. Well, the surgeon got to work right away, and it looked like the devil was going to lose that foot. But he managed to save the foot. It wasn't very pretty, but he managed to save the foot, you know, and do it. But the devil never went back to that job with Michael. Well, Michael never went to visit him in hospital, did he? I mean, he could have gone and took him a few grapes or something. The devil left the Black Country and never returned. And that's why it's such a blessed place to live, you see. He gave up the carpentry completely, which I think is a good thing, because if he had pursued that, you know, me and Robert would have been put out of business years ago. But anyway, that's how the devil got his split foot. And all it leaves is the question. Now, a lot of you know, with my stories, there's quite often there's a question. I ain't sure this is my Black Country accent. I don't make myself clear enough. I don't know what it is. But I swear, if I told you the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, somebody come up after and say, hey Ron, what variety were them beans, or what sort of compost did he use? You know. So I tend to preempt the questions now. And I know the question you want to ask me. And that is Crumpton an old Black Country name? Now I ain't sure about that, you see. But I was a self-employed joiner before, I was going to say retired, but everybody knows I ain't quite managed it. But anyway, and if you've been self-employed, you'll know where I'm coming from. Sometimes you do a job. In this case, it was only a little job. And you send an invoice. No money comes. Next month, you send a statement. No money comes. And this is what was happening. Now, Pamela used to do my accounts, and I used to use a program, a computer program. Well, I decided with this, because it was a small amount, I decided not to chase him for it. I thought I'll just wait till I bump into him and ask him for it there and then. Well, it's all right for me, I can forget it, but the computer don't. So every month, when I pressed the button for statements, out it used to come. Well, at the time, I was just putting this story together for telly, and I was looking for a name for the character. Pamela was doing the accounts, I pressed the button, out it come. I says, he's here again. I says, you know what you ought to do with this? Stick his name in the window and shame him into paying. That's what they used to do in the old little shops, you know. They put the name in the window, shame him. Oh, I says, I'll do better than that. I'll put his name in a story and I'll tell it all around the Black Country. Well, as soon as Michael got wind of this, he was soon in and paid me. So I got my money, but I'm still telling the story.